Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in, just imagine breathing in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow yourself to feel that tension or stress is leaving your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to turn on that dial of self-awareness. You know yourself better than anyone else can know you. So you already know where you store that tension and stress in your body. Maybe it's in your forehead around your eyebrows. Maybe it's in your jaw, your neck, or your shoulders. As you breathe in and breathe out, give permission to yourself to just let go. That's it. Sometimes when you're in an intense period of your life, it almost feels like it's necessary to be in that hypervigilant state of stress and tension. But actually, giving a window of time for you to just let go means that your body can recuperate, rejuvenate, and to release those feelings that you've been holding on to. So allow your eyelids to feel like they're getting heavier and heavier, releasing that feeling of tension. Opening up your lungs so you can take deeper and deeper breaths in and deeper breaths out. That's it. Eyelids heavier and heavier. I want you to imagine the tension is leaving your arms and your legs. And I want you to imagine your head almost feels like it's a helium balloon on a string, effortlessly held there, floating, giving you the ability to release all tension around your neck and your shoulders, finding it easier to breathe, easier to swallow, easier to relax. You already know that it's impossible to pour from an empty cup. You already know that you can't give if you don't have. And therefore, doesn't it make sense to prioritize your own health, your own well-being? Because the more energy you have, the more energy you can give. The more resources that you have, the more resourceful you can be for those people that need those resources. I want you to think that in the same way that you're looking after other people, you're only able to do that because of the resources that you have: time, energy, and good intentions. But if you need to be in a good place to have those resources to give to other people, who's giving those resources to you? I want you to create an image of you walking by the side of a mountain. Maybe it's a mountain that you know, maybe it's a mountain that you've seen on a screen, seen in a book. There's something majestic about a mountain, a real connection with nature. I want you to imagine breathing in that fresh, clean air, allowing your eyelids to relax, feeling connected with nature, the fresh air, the breeze on your skin. I want you to get a sense that there is a winning combination that enables you to get the best out of yourself. I want you to think of a time when you walked by the side of a mountain that you felt that you had the energy. You had feelings of resources, feelings that you can cope with life, feelings that you can handle what life throws at you. And notice that when you felt that way, you breathed differently. Slower and lower, there in the diaphragm. You thought differently. That inner dialogue was slower. Plenty of pauses. It wasn't a constant stream of have to do this, must do that. When you were in a good place, you had time to evaluate. So I want you to imagine that you're just slowing down that inner dialogue. When you read a really good book, you don't try and race through the book. You take your time. Take your time to enjoy the words, enjoy the meanings, to follow the story. And as you imagine walking by the side of this mountain, I want you to get a sense that you're able to slow down your thoughts. In many areas of life, less is more. I want you to think about when you've baked something delicious. You didn't need 100 ingredients. In many cases, sometimes just 5, 6, or 7 ingredients is more than enough to create something amazing. It's not the quantity of ingredients, but being selective about those ingredients. And I wonder what would happen if the goal wasn't to think of everything you have to do, everything you must do, everything you could do. I want you to start thinking about this idea of doing more with less, having an impact. Hundreds of years ago, there was an Italian thinker that came up with an idea that small things can have a big impact. And I want you to wonder, in your life, what is that Pareto principle? What is that 80-20 rule? What if rather than doing 100 things in a day, you asked yourself the question, what are the 3, 4, or 5 most important things of the day that would have the biggest impact? There are certain things that you've baked or made and cooked that certain ingredients aren't vital, they're optional. And even if that ingredient was missing, you could still make pretty much the same thing. But then there are other core ingredients that, if they're not there, what you're making just doesn't work. And I want you to think about the ingredients that are essential in order for you to be a giver. And one of those is sleep. Sleep is one of the key ingredients in your life, and how can you give to others if you're not getting that sleep for yourself? But also, good nutrition, giving your body the essential nutrients that you need, but also connection with other people. I want you to imagine there you are walking by the side of this mountain, and the people you care about the most are there with you. I want you to imagine good conversations, laughter. I want you to recall a time where you were laughing so hard you couldn't control yourself. Maybe it was something you saw, something someone said. I want you to recall the time where the laughter was free and easy. I want you to get a sense that these key ingredients in your life, connection and laughter and sleep and nutrition, movement, but also self-care, will enable you to be more resourceful, more capable, more able to deal with lots to do and stressful times. I want you to get a sense that you are feeling that it is necessary for you to give you what you need. And I want you to imagine the subtle changes that you could make to your life that would enable you to give more to you of what you need the most. Maybe that's just a break to stop constantly thinking of all these things that feel like an ever-growing list. So I want you to imagine yourself, perhaps in the evening, reading a really good book. See yourself turning the pages. See yourself escaping the constant feeling of not doing enough. Maybe you can imagine yourself going on a walk, maybe with headphones on, and just giving some of that time to just follow a story of someone else's life and someone else's challenges. I want you to see yourself like you're watching yourself, like you're someone else, just an evening routine that enables you to have that connection, good conversations that make you smile, conversations that make you feel connected. Maybe see yourself just having a relaxing bath. Maybe see yourself listening to music that helps you relax. See yourself in that 2 hours or so before it's time to sleep, doing things just for you. And notice that by doing that, that is an act of generosity. Because when you see yourself putting yourself first in those hours leading up to sleep time, notice that you are able to sleep better. And when you sleep better, your unconscious mind can be helping to organize all of your thoughts, all of the things you need to do in a way that the following day when you wake up after a good night's sleep, you feel more prepared, more organized, more capable, more resourceful. See yourself waking up the following day and at the earliest possible moment, getting out there in the sunshine, seeing yourself with sun on your face. I want you to get a sense that you deserve time for yourself. And that time for yourself helps you to come up with better ideas, to solve problems quicker, to resolve things that need resolving. I want you to see this version of you that when you put yourself first, even just for 1 or 2 hours a day, you see yourself with more balance, see yourself looking healthier, see yourself with more energy, see yourself looking less tired and more active, see yourself accomplishing more because you're seeing yourself able to see the wood for the trees. You see yourself feeling in control rather than overwhelmed. And you see yourself looking like you can cope. And the moment your mind feels that the game is winnable, there's less stress, there's less adrenaline, there's less of all of that franticness, and there is more of a feeling that you're doing stuff from a place of giving, less obligation and more choice. And if you can see that version of you that feels more balanced, more equilibrium, that you're able to deal with the challenges more because you have more resources, that you can pour more because the cup is no longer empty. If you can see that version of you, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to step into that version of you. So now it's not observing you, you're feeling that those resources exist within you, and imagine that perhaps it's the last hour or two in the evening. Maybe you can imagine that you've gone for a walk, but in this walk you've given some of that time just to allow your mind to escape. And maybe you've done something to enable you to just take your mind off things. Maybe you cook something, bake something. Maybe you did something creative. Maybe you had a good conversation with a friend. Maybe you just poured yourself a bath and relaxed. Or maybe you read a really good book. And even if you only read a few pages in that moment, you gave yourself a break. And then imagine that your head is on the pillow. And because you feel less stress and you feel more of that feel-good hormones going through your blood, you're able to feel that you deserve good sleep, you need good sleep, and you're happy to enjoy good sleep. So very soon I'm going to count from 1 to 10. And if you're listening to this at a point where you need to awaken, you will awaken when I get to 10. But if you're listening to this at the point where you're ready to go to sleep, counting from 1 to 10 will just help you transition into a deep, relaxing, rejuvenating sleep. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.